Hello and welcome back to Grim Survival. Sorry about the squeaky chair. This thing needs some WD-40 on it, obviously. Yeah, I had set up this area to do live streams. I was planning on doing a live stream today, but my microphone, the only microphone I plug into the computer for a live stream, is being used. So yeah, and it's being used for voiceover, which I was trying to get that video up today. I really was, but uh, the original voiceover attempt failed, so we had to redo it. And yeah, that well, I'll try again. But yeah, we're getting it up soon. I promise. I really am. I'm having one of those weeks. Oh, by the way, today is the 23rd of October. I know that because there's a computer screen behind this camera. Anyway, like I said, I'm having one of those weeks. I'm having one of those spiritual attack type of weeks. Just feel very, you know, everything's harder than it should be kind of things. Everything's off. Just everything is off. And yeah, it's just that way. I need another trip away and just to get back with my thoughts again and get myself back on track. So I was watching a video from my friend Roderick over at the Real Life Prepper channel. If you haven't checked out Real Life Prepper, I suggest you do so. Excuse me. The link is on my channel. If you click my channel page and go to the bottom, you'll find all the links to the channels that I recommend. You might see a few you recognize. Anyway, he had a message on there. Today's video, I believe it was, from about a crossroads, what path to take when you come to a crossroads in life, really. And we all come to crossroads. Go left, go right. Yeah, we all do. I think the entire country is at a crossroads right now, and not just because of the election, but because of the implications of the election. What could happen, whether it goes one way or another. Because no matter which way it goes, somebody is going to say it wasn't legitimate and that they are not the rightful leader of the country. No matter which way it goes, that's the way it's going to be for the other half. And there's a lot of talk that this could lead to civil war. This could lead to revolution, depending on which side you're on. If you're on one side or the other and you start a conflict, then it's, in your eyes, a revolution. And in everyone else's eye, it could be a coup or the start of a civil war and blah, blah, So it's a matter of perspective, depending on your perspective. So we are all at a crossroads right now. We all are. That's just how it is. Unfortunately, there are those of us who know better. Those of us who know which way we shouldn't go. You shouldn't go left, but maybe you should go right. But maybe you don't want to go right. So you don't go left because you know you shouldn't. But you don't go right because you just don't want to. And those of us that do this, we tend to go right up the middle. We pull out our axes, our saws, and our machetes, and we carve a path straight up the center, right? See, that's what I had been doing, just carving my path straight up the center. I didn't want to go that way. I know I shouldn't go this way. So I'm just going to make my own way. Yeah. So that's not the way, obviously. See, I learned a very hard lesson that my way isn't the right way. Only one way is the right way. And I have to listen to my instructions from the instruction that I listen to and go the way that I need to go. Even though that's not the way I want to go. Oftentimes it's not. So the same thing can be said about this. There's a lot of people who don't like one party or another, one candidate or another. A lot of people just, they're not going to go one way or another. They're just not going to. It doesn't matter anyway, really. Right? It doesn't matter. A lot of people says it matters so much. You should vote and you should do this and that. One man ain't going to really make a difference. Even if it's the one you don't like. Even if, I tell you, I don't like Biden. I'm not that big of a fan of Trump. So, yeah, But those are our two options, right? Those are our options that we have been left with. If you guys watched the debate last night, I watched about 5 minutes of it. 5 minutes, maybe. And the 5 minutes I watched, I seen them going back and forth. I heard, I didn't actually see the moderator, but I heard the moderator. I don't know her name. She was being rather disrespectful. And she had the little mute button power that they had given her. And yeah, she had fun using it, I'm sure. Well, you got to take your turn, and hits her mute button and mutes one guy's mic and then lets the other guy talk and back and forth, this and that. That's what it's come to. We have to mute the president so that he can't, defend himself against the guy running for president, and we have to do vice versa for the other one, right? Don't we wish we could just mute both of them? If you've ever read the Constitution, which I haven't completely read it, I'll be honest with you, I have read most of it, but not all of it, because it kind of is one of those things that, worded so, you got to look up half the words just to see what it's saying, right? But if you've ever read the Constitution, and if you've ever read the Declaration of Independence, they both have similar text in there that, without doubt, say that we have a right and a duty to replace our government when it has failed us. The problem with that is our government has divided us in such a broad manner by race, color, by religion, and by political party. They have done such a wonderful job of dividing us. So now there is no general consensus among the population of what should happen. If we were to replace our government, there would be no agreement on how to replace our government. There would be no cohesion between all of us to get together and say, all right, this is not working. Let's do it another way. There would be none of that. This has been done by design. How do you control a population? You control their food, you control their water, you disarm them, and then you pit them against each other. Not necessarily in that order. A lot of times you have to get them to go against each other before you can disarm them. A lot of times you have to take their food and their water away before you can control them. This has been done throughout history for many years. Many, many, many years. Like thousands of years. You can see evidence of this philosophy all the way back to the Bible, all the way back to Sun Tzu, The Art of War. I mean, if you've never read that book, I have. It's still an interesting read, but still one of those things. Divide and conquer. I mean, it really is what has happened. It has happened. We like to say that it is happening, but no, that's not true. It has already happened. We have been divided and we have been conquered. And the proof of this is just looking at our government. We have two candidates. No one else is allowed to be a candidate because either by not having money or not being affiliated with one of their two parties. And the country has been so divided that they believe that one of these two parties is the legitimate thing to be following instead of thinking for themselves and trying to carve their own path. A lot of my own advice I need to take on this one. I really do. Decisions are to be made. Paths are to be followed. I keep making decisions that probably not the best ones. My path was obvious. It really was. It was an obvious path. It was an obvious path of where I should have went, what I should have done. But I didn't want to, so I didn't. And now I pay the price for that decision. So at what point do we all pay the price for the decisions that our government has made? When does the price get too high that we finally get fed up? When do we just stop listening to the news and the TV and the propaganda and all the things that tell us what we should do, what we should believe, and how we should be? When do we just start thinking for ourselves and looking at the reality of the situation? The reality looks different to everyone now because we have been divided and we have been conquered. And that's going to be enough for me. This video could go on for hours of me talking like this. It is a very grim topic and a very grim subject. And this has been James with Grim Survival. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.